Hello friends, listeners. I'm going to give you a lecture on Russian grammar, very interesting one. You have to know Russian already because I don't have here English. Probably I will put English in commentaries area later. But now, most important, I want to share with you, with anybody with English speakers, because I speak English here. I want to share with you how torturous I tried to finish this slide with Windows 11. I specifically went and buy Windows 11 because I was searching for it for a while, and I just went and bought it in a store. And all familiar programs, Paint, with what I usually do. That's just very difficult experience. But I want to be adapted to whatever is coming, and that's why I am going through this torturous experience with this Windows 11. However, this is a lecture on Russian grammar, and this slide is not very beautiful because it's very difficult to work with Windows 11. I have a few computers with other Windows, a couple three with Windows 10, but I wanted I want to get used to this Windows 11 because in October 25, Windows 10, they are saying are not going to be serviced anymore at all. Yeah. Okay, so what we have here as Russian grammar, we have prepositions. On the top line, I put here 9 lines, numbers to the lines, 9 lines. And in the first line, horizontal, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 prepositions. We have 8 prepositions. And we are going to use these prepositions not as prepositions, but as prefixes to one verb. And this verb is водить. Водить, if you say водить, in Russian mind, the first association is кого водить, куда водить, whom to lead, whom to take someplace. Also, of course, very popular водить машину. This is without prefixes, okay? водить машину, and we have colloquialism, we have idioms with this verb. However, I'm not working here with the verb водить. I'm explaining here attached prefixes to it, which give whole bunch of different meanings. This is the same as when we work with German language. They have the same thing over there. They have many verbs that way. So Russian big thing is that when separately we use them as prepositions with nouns, with everything separate these little service words on the top, red color. But attached in the front of the verb, it becomes prefix and it gives different meanings to the verb. And let's look, we are in line 1 now, and let's look at these prepositions, and all of them have some meanings, general meanings, semantics, like in English, for example, on will be on the top of something, in will be inside, under will be under. So the same here we look at this red lettering, and you can repeat after me, get used to them, because you see it's a big knowledge, very big knowledge, it's foreign language, and the more you learn it, the more you listen to it and learn it, the more you know. So in the first line we have the first preposition, only one letter, s, and this is how we call it, s. S will be like, for example, пить кофе с молоком, to drink coffee with milk, so s will be with. Or to go to the movies with a friend, идти в кино с другом, с will be with, preposition with. The next preposition consists of 3 letters, pod. Pod is exactly under. under. For example, под столом, под чем, the connection to the next noun will be instrumental, under what, and that's why the question is instrumental, под чем, under the table, под столом. The next one, it has two letters only, n, a, na. Na is on, preposition on. На столе, on the table. На pianino, on the piano. The next one is z, a. Z is, looks like number 3. And a is a everywhere, in Spanish, in English, in German. Well, in English is letter A, we call it, yes. So, за preposition will be, for example, за рекой. The easiest for me to create the semantics of that preposition, which of course will be also semantics of those prefixes to the verbs, right? So this is important. Everything what I explain is important, right? So, за is за рекой, means behind the river, за рекой, за горами, за долами. Many Russian fairy tales we start за горами, за долами, за высокими, чем-то там за высокими. Yeah, за will be behind, like over the mountains, behind the mountains, за. Also выходить замуж, за кого, to get married, for a woman, замуж, за кого, to get married, whom, to get married with whom will be за. So this preposition has meanings like that. The next one looks like English Y letter, and it's Russian U, and this is a preposition of proximity. For example, у окна, again the connection will be genitive case. У чего, question genitive case, чего, at what, near what, у окна, у двери, near what, near the door, у двери. У меня что-то есть, direct translation, at me means I have something. In Russian we have special phrase with this preposition у. So preposition у. The next one is the longest one, 4 letters, пере. Пере is, actually does not exist as preposition. It only exists as a prefix to the verbs. And переписать, перечитать, the meaning, the semantics of this will be redo something anew. Redo something one more time. Переписать, to write one more time. Перечитать, to read one more time. Переделать, to remake, to do one more time. So this will be пере. So separately, as preposition, it doesn't exist. It will be only together with the verbs as prefix. The next one is от. От is preposition exists. All of them almost, you see, exist except this пере. Пере doesn't exist. The next is от, as we see, от. От. От will be отойти от окна, to go farther from the window. От. От will be like pushing away something or moving away from something. От. For example, about emotions will be I'm happy, я счастлива от того, что I'm happy because of the fact that, so will be от, from that fact, from. Yes, from is also here, от, has a translation from oftentimes. And the last one here, only one letter, V. It looks like English B, but it is Russian V, as in Victor, as in the name Victor. So this is Russian V, and the meaning is in. The meaning is in. For example, в столе we call stol, we call table, and we call desk with drawers. We call also stol, рабочий стол. So в столе, in the drawer of the desk will be в, okay? Or в коробке, in the box, в книге, in the book, and so on and so forth. So these are prepositions, and one of them only prefix, пере. We are going to discuss in the next 8 lines. And the first line, which is number 2 here, number 2 is сводить, сводить. The verb is сводить. As we see, the letter O here is not stressed, vocally stressed. That's why we need to pronounce it a. Don't forget it. When you don't pronounce it a, you forget and pronounce o, you will have accent. Сводить. We have to pronounce it a, сводить. And the e gives us very, very soft, because e is kind of soft vowel. So the together with e is very soft, d. And the last t and мягкий знак, t, and soft sign gives you very soft t, t. And сводить, so the last dit is very soft, d, soft, сводить. So what is the meaning of сводить? The meaning, сводить ребенка к врачу, to take a child to the doctor, сводить. So one more time I will repeat, водить will be to take somebody somewhere, or водить машину, to drive a car, bus. And here водить, like imagine you take child by the hand and you take a child to the doctor. This will be exactly the meaning of this second line, сводить. Сводить кого? Whom? Сводить ребенка, genitive case, ребенок is child, к врачу. К врачу, к кому? This connection with к is dative. К врачу, to the doctor. Take a child to the doctor. Сводить ребенка к врачу. And the second example, сводить кого-то, ребенка, to take somebody or a child again, в музей, into a museum. сводить. I didn't put here the other meaning, but as I am speaking, I just remembered the other meaning will be if you have a spot on your clothing, then to take off, to remove the spot will be сводить пятно с рубашки, to take off that spot with your out of your shirt or out of your blouse will be сводить. You see, when we speak in the process, I remember something else. Okay, so the third line is подводить. The third line is the preposition pod, and of course prefix when it is together with the verb, подводить. And we have a new meanings here. Подводить, the first one is подводить под монастырь. This is idiomatic expression. Под монастырь, direct translation will not give you much, because direct translation is on the monastery. Монастырь is monastery, but on the monastery doesn't say nothing to you, okay? But idiomatic expression, подводить под монастырь, ты меня подвел под монастырь, ты меня подвела под монастырь, means that you how to say, not lie to me, I forgot in English now. Put me down. You put me down, right? Put me down. Not lied to me, but like did bad to me. When I remember after, I will tell you, okay? You put me in dangerous situation, and so this is the meaning. You put me in the dangerous situation. I didn't expect this. This is kind of bad what you did to me. So this will be подводить под монастырь кого-то, somebody, okay? Подводить под монастырь. One more time, it's idiomatic expression. Let me down. Oh, I remember. You let me down. To let down somebody will be подводить под монастырь. Idiomatic expression. The next one, ты меня подвела. I give just example. Ты меня подвела. You let me down. I hoped that everything would be, like good, but instead you let me down, and it is saying to a woman, because подвела is feminine gender, ending. Ты меня подвела, past tense. You let me down. And I put English there too. Let's look at line number 4. And we have here the next preposition на and prefix на, наводить. And the first what comes to Russian mind will be наводить бинокль на объект. Yes, на что-то. To imagine that you hold binocular. We are in number 4 right now. You imagine that you have binoculars in your hands and you are, focusing that binocular on a certain object or across the street or some place. And this is наводить бинокль. This is to focus your, or to position your binoculars. Наводить бинокль. And then after the comma, I show here крим. Крим is shortened from криминальный словарь, criminal vocabulary. Наводить на объект преступления. So when it is a thief, when it is a criminal, exactly thief, okay? So thieves, they find the rich house where another thief is going to rob that house. So the vocabulary is наводить, дать наводку, наводить кого-то. This is criminal vocabulary to find for somebody object for robbery. Of course, it's bad, but we are not talking here about morals, and I'm not teaching you foul language ever. I don't teach nobody already. I always say I never nobody teach foul language unless it's very special intimate situation, maybe, but I would never ever. It's very rude and bad. But here is it's a wide language, навел. For example, in the court they discuss something, и наводить, it will be can be widely used, but it's criminal vocabulary, Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 5 line 5. We have prefix за, заводить. And as I explained with preposition за рекой, behind the river, за. So here also it will be like far kind of заводить, как Иван Сусанин. The first is historical example from Russian history. It happened, I would say, about 16th century. I don't remember now, but it's 17. It was 1600. Yeah, 1600 something. Ivan Susanin was a peasant when Polish came to Moscow, and they wanted to kill Russian Tsar to take over. And Russian Tsar went to monastery. And Ivan Susanin, the peasant, he was kind of not like peasant. He was kind of like, I don't know, maybe, let's say, like high level of peasant. I don't remember that he was poor. He definitely not. He was some kind of like the leader or something. Yeah. And he knew where Tsar was hiding. He knew the place where Tsar was very young. Tsar was, I believe, like 17 years old. And Ivan Susanin never told to invaders where Tsar was hiding. They killed him brutally. They chopped off his head, and ugly things. Russian history is very difficult one. We have rich history, and we have different events, and our events are all in vocabulary, main events, and we remember, we know them. Okay, so Ivan Susanin, even if you ask Russian person, they will not remember the century or anything, but everybody will use this proverb, this saying, что ты как Иван Сусанин, куда ты меня завел, where did you take me, like Ivan Susanin, he took them into the forest someplace very far away to win the time and to save his Tsar. Okay, so everybody knows, all Russians know the name. All Russians know the name Ivan Susanin, but I don't think many will say exactly the century or the name of the Tsar. I read it recently, but I read so much that regularly, and mainly I'm trying to update myself on computer stuff, AI and things like that. So this information history will be like very, very sleeping fast. Yeah. So, and this is not important here in encyclopedia today, we can find very quickly in all languages, Ivan Susanin. Number 2 meaning here, we are in line number 5, заводить ребенка. This is completely different meaning from the first one, Ivan Susanin. So, заводить ребенка will be to start having a family with a child. A woman gives birth to a child, и мы говорим, and we say, они завели ребенка, they had a child, to have a child and start family already with a child. So, заводить ребенка will be the meaning, okay? To give birth to a child, of course, a woman, and give birth to a child, and since then, вот они завели ребенка, they started having a family with a child, okay? The next one is intimate, meaning in English is turn on. Yes, заводить will be to turn on, like a man a woman, or a woman a man, and things like that. To turn on, I just put here number 3, intim, intim is intimate. Number 4, we have будильник. Будильник is alarm clock. Remember the old style, like round one, which like rings and like almost shaking from that, будильник. So будильник is alarm clock. Будить from the verb будить, to wake up somebody. Okay, so будить is wake up. So будильник is an alarm clock. Заводить будильник will be to wind up alarm clock, for 6 o'clock in the morning, for 7, wherever you want to wind up. Заводить будильник, to wind up alarm clock. The next line, number 6, we have preposition u, preposition of proximity. However, here is different semantics. It is sometimes friends, semantics is the same as with prepositions with nouns which stand separately, and sometimes semantics, very often, by the way, the same, but sometimes it's different. Like, for example, уводить will be exactly not proximity, but exactly opposite, exactly to take far. Okay, so уводить от удара will be to take somebody away, protecting them from some kind of blow or hit. Уводить от удара. Okay, уводить. By the way, in box, or like somebody want to box you, okay, so that will be отводить удар, will be от. Yes, I didn't give it line number 8, but as we speak, от удара, from blow, отводить also would be with boxing. Отводить. But уводить от удара will be to take away from some kind of blow, which is coming. The second meaning after comma here, уводить, we are in line number 6, уводить из плохой компании, to take somebody away from the bad company of people. Уводить из плохой компании. This would be a good friend, especially teenagers, when they see somebody's like smoking, they're drinking, and a good friend will take that friend, a girl or a boy, and take out from that bad company. Уводить. Line number 7, we have переводить. Переводить. So this, like I said before, preposition separately doesn't exist, but it exists a lot with the verbs. And this verb, переводить, will be с русского на английский. I put shortly here, which if you know a little bit of, if you know Russian reading, it's not very difficult for you to understand. С русского на английский, to переводить, to translate from Russian to English. Переводить, to translate from Russian into English, or to any other language to any other language. From any language to any other language. Переводить. Переводить текст, to translate the text. Переводить стихотворение, to translate poem. Переводить песню, to translate a song, will be accusative connection. Переводить что? To translate what will be accusative connection. How do I know? Very quickly, because I took feminine gender, песня, она, a song, and it started having ending u, so I know it's only accusative. So we have different things which we connect together, and and we know quickly, what declension, what case, so we know that. If you study little by little, step by step, grammar of any language, you will know more and more. So the next one, number 7, in number 7, number 2, переводить через дорогу. Переводить через дорогу, to take somebody actually by the hand and take them across the road. Like, for example, a blind person to help them, elderly person to help them. This will be переводить через дорогу. Over the road, across the road will be через preposition. Переводить через дорогу, через что. Again, we see дорога, feminine gender. Дорога is a road, and feminine gender u is accusative case. Переводить через что. Okay, the question is что for things, for inanimate things. And number 3 here, переводить стрелки. Переводить стрелки, стрелка, singular, стрелка, as you hear it's feminine, стрелка is arrow. Also, стрелки, plural, will be hands of the clock. So, переводить стрелки exactly about moving the hands of a clock. Переводить стрелки. Also, I believe in railroad. In railroad occupation, they probably переводить стрелки, стрелочник. They call the person who is taking these rails, from one direction to another. I believe also they use this, переводить стрелки, переводить. So the next one, number 8, will be отводить, от, preposition от, отводить ребенка в детский сад. Again, I give here short. Instead of детский сад, kindergarten. Отводить кого? To take whom? Кого? Что will be accusative case. Отводить ребенка, a child, to kindergarten. Детский сад. Отводить. To take your child and leave your child over there in kindergarten will be отводить. Because if you go, if you want actually activity, вести right now, to take a child right now, will be different, will be вести, will be imperfective verb, вести, but отводить gives you perfectness, okay? By the way, сводить, подводить, наводить, заводить, уводить, переводить, all of them are perfective verbs. You see this prefix, they give you finality of the action, perfectiveness, okay? And this is how it works in the language. So, the first number 8 was отводить ребенка в детский сад. Отводить ребенка в детский сад. To take a child to the kindergarten. And number 2 meaning here, отводить беду. Отводить беду will be, something bad is coming or somebody bad could happen, but отводить беду, but you somehow avoid it. You were able to avoid this bad situation. Actually, beda is a trouble, and beda, like a war, is a big trouble. We call beda. Beda is a very special, very sad, very noun, beda. So, bedu will be accusative case. Отводить беду will be to be able to escape that very bad situation, very horrible situation, beda. Отводить беду. Sometimes people's person's activities may prevent something, so this will be okay. Отводить беду. Something bad could have happened, but somebody has done something about it. Отводить. And the next one will be, the last line will be number 9, водить. Водить. And friends, listeners, I, on purpose, I made these numbers of different sizes, although it's very difficult to work with Windows 11. I tried it before, but not much. But now I just bought a computer and I am working with it. But not to such extent difficult that I couldn't make even numbers. I did it on purpose because my all numbers are the same color, so they are different numbers. So I did it on purpose for better visual effect. 7 is like out a little bit out the line. 9 is very big, 1 is very big. So I did on purpose them different. You understand, different sizes. Yes, because they are the same color. Yeah, so line number 1, sorry, Russian, speak Russian. 1, we have the name, Vanya, Ivan. So, 1. Line 9, what I'm talking about, 1. Line 9, we have водить, we see double V. So we have водить. Introduce, to to bring something over will be introduced to bring something over. And the first meaning is very bad for Russians. Not very bad, they already got, how to say adapted. They adapted. We Russians, we adapt, to difficulties because we've seen many of them. Okay, so вводить санкции is my first example here. Вводить санкции, to introduce the sanctions, and of course it's notoriously known now. Many countries introduce the sanctions towards Russia. Yeah. Вводить санкции, kind of bad meaning, yes. Number 2, вводить войска, to bring the troops, to introduce the troops, to have the troops someplace. Yesterday they were not, but today ввели войска, they bring the troops here. Okay, so this is вводить. And when you pronounce, it's not just водить. Look, if you cut out this one V, you just have водить машину, вести машину. To drive a car with one V is one V, водить. This is not one, these are two of them. Вводить. So you make a little bit kind of pause there and make them two. They are two, Вводить войска, number 2 meaning, introduce the troops, bring the troops to some place. Number 3 meaning, новые правила, вводить новые правила, to introduce new rules, to bring new rules to some, arrangement or something, to some place, new rules. Вводить новые правила. Number 4 meaning, вводить кого-то в плохую компанию, to introduce somebody into the bad company of people. Вводить кого-то, to introduce somebody, you bring them, like for example, mafia movies, we've seen many, so you cannot just go there and ask for something, we have many movies, different plots, but you have to have somebody, from them, so they would introduce a new person, okay, so will be вводить кого-то вот в эту компанию, into this company of people. I'm not talking here about businesses whatsoever, just company of people. We call compania, the same name, compania. Okay, very good. So I explained 9 lines here. One of them is just, I'm showing them separately so you could see them very well. All of them almost are also prepositions to the nouns, but except one period, almost all of them can be used as exemplified here very well with many examples to each one in the lines 2 to 9, in the 8 lines exemplified, 8 of them with these prefixes. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it was helpful. It's always helpful when to listen to lecture with new meanings, with different meanings, with speech without accent in that language. Always helpful from native speaker. I always enjoy, even I have lived in USA for 29 years, but I do enjoy American speak. And today I spoke to the neighbor, and she was kind of like dragging, and I said to her, "Are you from Texas?" She says, "Well, actually, I'm from Oklahoma, but I live now in Arizona." So that's accents fascinate me. I think it's wonderful that people speak different accents, and so you obviously study Russian here if you listen to this lecture. And thank you very much for listening, and good luck to everybody. And you will see me in the next lecture. Thank you. Bye.